नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण हरि
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल।
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण हरि
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि बोल। कुर हमरे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के, हम है रमण बिहारी के। ठाकुर हमरे रे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के। ठाकुर हमरे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के। साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा, साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा, साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा, साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा। कामन दुनियादारी से, कामन दुनियादारी से, कामन दुनियादारी से, कामन दुनियादारी से।
ठाकुर हमारे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी की।
ठाकुर हमरे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के।
ठाकुर हमारे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी की।
ठाकुर हमरे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के।
साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा,
साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा,
साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा।
साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा।
कामन दुनियादारी से,
कामन दुनियादारी से,
कामन दुनियादारी से।
कामन दुनियादारी से।
ठाकुर हमारे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के।
ठाकुर हमरे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के।
ठाकुर हमारे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के।
ठाकुर हमरे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के।
ठाकुर हमारे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के। अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं।
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीची मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
चंदन है इस देश की माटी,
चंदन है इस देश की माटी, तपोभूमि हर गाँव है, हर वाला देवी की प्रतिमा,
बच्चा राम है।
चंदन है इस देश की माटी,
चंदन है इस देश की माटी,
तपोभूमि हर ग्राम है,
तपोभूमि हर ग्राम है।
हर बाला देवी प्रतिमा,
हर वाला देवी की प्रतिमा,
बच्चा बच्चा राम है,
बच्चा बच्चा राम है।
बच्चा बच्चा राम है।
बच्चा बच्चा राम है।
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी, बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जो दायकु फलचारी। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार, बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज संवारे। लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर है सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्त न धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरना, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकं
Jai Shri Krishna. A very warm welcome to all the participants who have come to learn Gita flawlessly. On weekly interpretation session on behalf of Gita Pariwar, I, Tanushree Mehta, invite you all for the new chapter of 6th chapter, first part. In this first part, you will all come to know the deeper meaning of yoga of self-control. Now, let's move to the prayer. Prayer is formed to connect with God and seek blessing for oneself and for others too. It enlightens individuals more mindful and grateful. So for today, I would like to welcome Hemavati ji, staying at Gorgantla, Satya, a pharmacist by profession. Hobbies include learning Gita and other devotional shlokas. Studied till D Pharmacy. Welcome, Didi.
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कौसचानूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णौ वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णौ वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। जय श्री कृष्ण दीदी। जय श्री कृष्ण टू ऑल।
Thank you for the melodious and beautiful prayer. Lightning of lamp make every mind pure, divine, and full of knowledge and positivity. For the equivalent, I would like to call Savita Vilokarji from Sambhajinagar, studied till become homemaker, joined Gita Pariwar in May 2021, completed all the 4 levels, passed Gita Pathik exam, also serving as trainer in L1. Welcome, Didi.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः।
Thank you for the melodious and the beautiful and divine deep Prajwala. Now it's time for the most awaited and most anticipated part of today's session. Our distinguished speaker of the day, Vikas Vaidya, qualified till BE, MTech, Mechanical, VGTM, and then I for 12 years have traveled all over the world, owning a small IT company, staying in Pune, and you will be surprised to know that Bhaiya know languages like Hindi, Marathi, English, Indonesian, Malaysian, Spanish. Recite all 18 adhyayas of Gita every day since last 5 years. Trainer in Gita Pariwar for L1 to L4. And enrolled in trainer selection and trainers training department to all the 4 levels. Also involved in Vishnu Sahasranam as member of Pune Gita Pariwar. guiding students of Geetavati to prepare for Shrungeri Peeth Geeta exam. I'd like to call upon Bhaiya for 6th chapter interpretation, first part. It's an honor to welcome you, Bhaiya.
जय श्री कृष्ण। पूज्य स्वामी जी के चरण कमल में कोटि कोटि नमन। प्रार्थना से शुरुआत करते हैं। वसुदेव वसुदं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। जय श्री कृष्ण टू ऑल। Today we are starting Adhyay 6th Atma Sanyam Yoga, one of the most important Adhyay for bringing Gita in our life. Gita पढ़े पढ़ाएं और जीवन में लाए. As Pujya Swamiji always says, if you want to really inculcate Gita in our day-to-day life, this is the Adhyay which we should study very, very seriously and try to take some tips from Lord Krishna directly as to how we can change our life with the tips given by Bhagavan in this Adhyay. This Adhyay is Atma Sanyam Yoga. There are total 47 shlokas. The chanda of all shlokas is Anushtup chanda, and speakers of shlokas, there are 5 shlokas from Arjuna and 42 from Lord Shri Krishna. Now, sannyas yoga and karma yoga are 2 different paths for attaining Paramatma. This much we have understood from 4th and 5th Adhyay. But the prerequisite for both the paths is Mano Vijay, control over your mind, restrained mind, and Chitta Shuddhi, that means the purity of Antakaran. These are the 2 prerequisites, whether you follow Sannyas Yoga or you follow Karma Yoga. Sannyas, that means renunciation, should be of the vritti, of your attitude, and not of the life, not of the karma. For becoming a yogi, this is just a brief preview of the Adhyay that we'll take now, and we'll start in a couple of minutes reading of the Adhyay. So I was saying, for becoming a yogi, the performance of Nishkam Karma is a must. And on becoming the yogarudha, that means the yogi who has climbed the ladder of yoga and he has reached the top of the ladder, he is called yogarudha. We'll see those shlokas pertaining to yogarudha in this Adhyay. So yogarudha, he performing the same karmas as the peace of mind, manashanti. So yogarudha performs the same karma as an ordinary person performs, but he does it not for his any achievement, for achieving anything, but he does it only for manashanti. This is what we learn in this Adhyay, and this becomes unavoidable for yogarudha yogi. We learn a great message from Lord Shri Krishna in this Adhyay, that a man is responsible for his own emancipation and degradation, because he himself is his own friend or his own enemy. In what way he can be his friend and in what way he will be his enemy, that we'll discuss in this Adhyay. So the one who has conquered his body, mind and senses is a friend of himself, and one who is governed by this is his own enemy, in simple terms. We'll discuss in details. For you to become your own friend, Atma Sanyam, that means self-restraint, control, is a prerequisite. One who can achieve Atma Sanyam, he becomes yogarudha. That means he can climb up to the top of the ladder of yoga. The sooner you start, the better it will be. But don't worry, if you cannot achieve this objective in this very life, you can continue your journey from where you have left in this life. This is another important message Paramatma will give, that whatever sattvic karma you are doing in this life, even if it remains half done, as many of us believe that, oh, we are already delayed in learning Gita, in learning Vishnu Sahasranam, what can we achieve? So don't think that way. Whatever you are doing in this life will help you in your next life, and you will start from the point you are living in this life. So nothing goes waste. This is another important commitment, I would say, Paramatma is giving in this Adhyay. So nothing that you do in this life goes waste. Nahi kalyanakat kashtit durgatin tata gacchati. Like that, there is a shloka in this Adhyay. Since this state of yogarudha is achieved only through Atma Sanyam, self-restraint, this Adhyay name is Atma Sanyam Yoga. Now, Arjuna in the 3rd chapter, if you remember 3rd and 4th chapter, Arjuna in the 3rd chapter of Gita, he has said that he is confused. Because if Jnana Yoga is called, Jnana Yoga is also called Sannyas Yoga or Sankhya Yoga, is better, is good, then why Paramatma, why Lord Sri Krishna is advising him to follow the path of Karma Yoga? And that too karma which involves killing his own near ones and dear ones. Both from Kaura's side and Pandava's side, his near ones and dear ones were standing in the war. And when war takes place, people may get killed. You can't have the choice that only this person should get killed and another one should not. So it goes out of your hands when the war starts. So this karma, why Paramatma is insisting that you follow this karma? Why I should not follow the Jnana Yoga if Jnana Yoga is better? So Arjuna's question was, Jayasi chit karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tatking karmani ghoreman niyojayasi keshava. This was the question from Arjuna. And in the beginning of 5th adhyay, Arjuna has asked question again. Sanyasam karmanam krishna punaryogancha shanshasi yachreya eta yorekan tanme bruhi sanishchitam. He wonders why Sri Krishna is praising Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga both. Sometimes you are saying Karma Yoga is good, then you say Jnana Yoga is also good. So he in fact wanted to take the path of Jnana Yoga, wherein he can renounce the world. In fact, he wanted to take that path because he wanted to avoid the costly task of killing people. Actually, Arjuna's desire, he desired to hear what he had in his mind. Normally, it is our tendency that the speaker is speaking, but we have already made our thoughts that yes, he is saying this. He may be saying something different, but we have already made our opinion that yes, he is agreeing with me and he is saying my thoughts only. So likewise, Arjuna also thought that Paramatma is advising him to go in for Jnana Yoga. While Paramatma has not said anything about this so clearly in any of the 2nd or 3rd adhyay, that you should follow only Jnana Yoga and discard Karma Yoga. Paramatma has compared both the yogas. And finally, Arjuna asked Bhagavan Shri Krishna to suggest which of the 2 yogas is good, beneficial for him. Yachre eta yorekan, tell me one thing. Tanme bruhi sunishchitam, whichever is best suited for me, with which I can achieve my own kalyan, my own betterment, you please suggest that. Now Sri Krishna has said in the 5th adhyay, which we have concluded last week only, Sankhyogo pratagbala pravadantina panditaha ekamapyastita samyak bhayor vindate phalam. Paramatma has once again clarified in 5th adhyay that both Sankhya Yoga, that means Buddhi Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga are all same actually. So both Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga are the same because they follow, even if you follow one of them, you will lead the same fruit. You will lead the same destination. The wise and learned people, they know this very well. While the Pruthak Bala is person who is having childlike tendency. That is one who is not so intelligent, Bala. So childlike individuals, they think that these both yogas, Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga, they will lead to different destinations. They are different. And at the end of 5th adhyay, Bhagavan introduces yet another yoga, the Dhyana Yoga. How to enter into Dhyan? Paramatma has said one important shloka in 5th adhyay. Sparshan krutva bahirmayash chakshashchaivantare bhroho pranapanau samau krutva nasabhyantara charinau. Sparshan krutva bahirmayash. Shut out all the external objects. Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. Don't allow your indriyas, your senses, to connect with the sense objects. And then fix the gaze at the point between the 2 eyebrows here. Chakshushchaivantare bhroho. Between both the eyebrows, fix your gaze at the point between 2 eyebrows, and then pranapano samo krutva. Equalize the incoming and outgoing breath. The 6th chapter now, this was the beginning of meditation. In 6th chapter, It deals with the Atma Sanyam Yoga, self-control through Dhyana Yoga. The beginning of Dhyana Yoga, Paramatma has started discussion on this in this shloka. Sparshan krutva bahirmaya chakshuchayavantare bhuvoho pranapano samo krutva nasabhyantare charino. So this was the beginning of discussion on Dhyana Yoga. And this is what will be detailed in the 6th Adhyaya, which will start now. First shloka. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā अथ षष्ठो अध्यायः श्रीभगवानुवाच अनाश्रितः कर्मफलं कार्यं कर्म करोति यः स सन्न्यासी च योगी च न निरग्निर्न चाक्रियः. Anashrita. Anashrita means unashrita. One who has not taken shelter. Anashrita. One who has not taken shelter, that is anashrita. Paramatma says, anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti. Karya phala. Karya phala is, karma phala is your return reward of your karma. Karyam. Karyam is your obligatory prescribed duty. Karoti. Karoti means to do, to perform. Sannyasi, that means the renounced order, the person who is taking sannyas, who is giving up the things. Yogi is the yogi mystic. Agni is fire, of course. And akriya. Akriya means not doing the duty, not doing anything. So what does it all mean? Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnirna chakriya. So Lord Krishna says, the one who performs his prescribed duty, actions, karma, without being attached to their fruits, not taking ashray, that means not taking shelter of his karma phala, he is a sannyasi. The one who performs his prescribed karma without being attached to their fruits is a sannyasi and a yogi. On the other hand, he who merely forgoes lighting the fire. Now, what does it mean, lighting the fire? That we'll discuss. So, one who merely gives up lighting of fire or renounces all karmas, all action, such a person is neither a sannyasi nor a yogi. So, who is a sannyasi? Who is entitled to be called as a sannyasi? Shri Krishna explains that three essential things, attributes of a sannyasi, Paramatma explains in this shloka. What is the first? The foremost being non-attachment to the fruits of your karma. Anashrita karma phalam. So, no attachment to the fruits of your action. That is the first prerequisite. He performs all appropriate karmas without expecting anything in return. Not even any appreciation or acknowledgement. Now contrast this with our own behavior. We don't do anything for anyone at any time without getting something in return. Before starting the karma, before starting the work, we think 10 times, what am I going to gain out of it? If I'm not going to gain anything out of it, why should I do it? But this sannyasi is a different person. Anashrita karma phala. He has no sides on his karma phala. He doesn't bother about karma phala at all. The second point being made by Shri Krishna is that merely giving up the lighting of fire does not make anyone a sannyasi. What does it mean? Giving up the fire. Why do we need fire? Every day morning we make tea, putting on our gas, we need fire. Then cooking the food, of course we need. Some people take hot water bath. And now, okay, we have geyser, but geyser is also some kind of Agni only. So we need that. Then we cook the food, we need Agni, fire for cooking the food. Mainly for cooking the food. Okay. A sannyasi follows a percept wherein he is not supposed to cook the food for him. Then how does he eat? He doesn't cook food for himself. He eats, no? He maintains his body. How? He can seek alms, bhiksha. And mind you, it is not easy to stand at anyone's door and beg for the food. Om bhiksham dehi. Please give me the bhiksha. In my childhood, some such sannyasis. One I distinctly remember, he used to come to our place taught at 11 o'clock. And he will shout, Om Bhikshandehi, like that. And on hearing his saying this Om Bhikshandehi, my mother would give him some rotis and vegetables. She used to make sure that before 11 o'clock, her cooking is over. He has the rotis and vegetable for that sannyasi who will come taught at 11 o'clock, Om Bhikshandehi. And these sannyasis who say Om Bhikshandehi, they can at the most visit 5 houses only. That is the prescript. They cannot go to 6th house. And should not wait for the food at any doorstep. If the food is not ready, they are not supposed to wait for food to getting ready. They have to go to the next house, next house, next house. And if they don't get anything from the 5 houses, they have to remain hungry that day. They can't go to 6th house. And some sannyasis, because you may get attached to the food from a particular house. Oh, this lady prepares good food. So no attachment with any food whatsoever. So what they do, all the 5 houses, whatever food they have collected, they'll put in a thin cloth. They will go to the river and dip that entire chunk of food in water to make it tasteless. We look for taste in the food. They want to make it tasteless so that they don't get addicted to any particular food at all. It is required only for maintaining the body with no attachment to the food also. So Lord says that following this norm of giving up lighting the fire, but not adhering to the spiritual norms of meditation. You don't burn the fire, so you don't burn the food. Okay, but does it make you sannyasi? If you don't make your own food, do you become sannyasi? No. You have to adhere to the spiritual norms of meditation, austerities, tapa, and contemplation. Contemplation is manan chintan of Paramatma. If you don't do all this, meditation, austerities, tapa, and no manan chintan of Paramatma, in the food, you don't become sannyasi. See, every statement of Lord is filled with logic and rationality. Thus, Shri Krishna says that just renouncing action or simply forsaking the lighting of fire does not make anyone a sannyasi or a yogi. We discussed sannyasi giving up the lighting of fire. Similarly, anyone who gives up karma, he doesn't become a yogi. Giving up karma does not make you yogi. In this adhyay, Shri Krishna talks in details about who is a sannyasi and what does sannyas mean. You don't become a sannyasi by renouncing your home and family or by giving up your business. Neither do you become a sannyasi by wearing any particular dress, bhagavastra. You wear that and you say, I am a sannyasi. No. Or sitting on the top of a mountain, go somewhere, or hide in a cave somewhere, or buy in a hut in a side of a river. That doesn't make you sannyasi. No one can become sannyasi by renouncing karma or action. So how does one become sannyasi? This is explained by Lord in the subsequent shlokas of this adhyay. Shlok number 2. Yam sannyāsimiti prāhuryogantam vidhi pāndava nahya sannyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kaśchana. So Paramatma says that Yam sannyāsimiti prāhuryogantam vidhi pāndava nahya sannyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kaśchana. Yam, that means what? Sannyasam, that is the renunciation, giving up. Prahu, prahu means to say something. Yogam, yoga is connection. Connection with whom? Paramatma. Yogam. Vidhi. Vidhi means to know, to understand. Asanyasta, without giving up. Sankalpa. Sankalpa, your vasanas, your desires for self-satisfaction. That is your sankalpa. Yogi. Yogi, the mystic yogi. Bhavati. Bhavati is to become. Kaśchana. Kaśchana means anyone. So Paramatma says, Arjuna, what is called sannyas, know that The same is yoga. Yam sannyasa vidhi prahur yogantam vidhi pandava. Arjuna, whatever people say sannyas, understand that it is same as yoga. And know that you can never become a yogi, a sannyasi, until and unless you don't give up, renounce all your sankalpa. Sankalpa, the desires, the wishes in your mind. We are expert in building sankalpa. Even when we are not doing anything, we do daydreaming. I should get these, I will do that, then I will achieve this sankalpa. And then you try to pursue those sankalpa which you are building in your own mental castle. So Lord says to Arjuna, whatever attributes I describe of sannyasi, know that the same are applicable to a yogi as well. Because they are one and the same. Yogi and sannyasi are one and the same. And the foremost attribute for both of them is total renunciation, that means tyag of all sankalpa. What is a sankalpa? The expectation of getting money, prizes, prestige or power. Even the idle imagination, you're not doing it, but even if you are imagining of getting this reward return, is called a sankalpa. A small story to illustrate what is the sankalpa. There was a village girl, aged about say 10-12, who was walking gracefully with a pot full of milk on her head. Village girl walking with a pot full of milk on her head. Under the spell of sankalpa, the little girl begins to daydream. I am going to sell this milk for 100 rupees, and with that money, I will get a dancing dress. She was interested in dancing. So she said, she thought in her mind that with that money, I will get a dancing dress and some real anklets with bells, ghungrwala. So I will get anklets. And then she will arrange shows of her dances and earn big money. And getting carried away, she starts dancing. You can imagine when there is a pot full of milk on your head and you start dancing, what will happen? The pot on the head, it falls and the milk spills. This is what we do every day. Someone may say, someday I will strike a lottery, then I will get a big money, I will buy a big villa, a boat, or I will settle on a small island. People are given to this kind of imagining in all kinds of terms. Money, pleasures, fame, and worst of all, power. All these are sankalpa. There should not be a single desire left for attaining anything from this material world is the first prerequisite for anyone to become a sannyasi or yogi. Yam sannyasam vidhi prahur yogantam vidhi pandava nahya sannyasa sankalpo. No sankalpa. Yogi bhavati kasyana. So as long as we are subject to sankalpa, we are imprisoned in our own selfish ways of thinking and have no access to the deeper capacities of our own consciousness. Because we are always interacting with the material world, we are not going deep in our own consciousness. And our own deep consciousness is waiting to be used, but we are not using it. Our consciousness has a lot of good things, but we are not allowing it to come to surface. We are getting interaction with only a material world for fulfilling of our sankalpa. Renunciation of sankalpa means renunciation of all thoughts and thought planning related to material world. That is renunciation of sankalpa. The one who has emptied his material world thought is a sannyasi. The material world should not come even in your thoughts. Then you become a sannyasi. How to get rid of sankalpa? Is it easy to get rid of sankalpa? Because as we discussed, everything that we start, we always start with what I am going to gain out of it. And then we start imagining, I will get this, I will get that and all that. So how to get rid of sankalpa? There is no more effective way to get rid of mind of sankalpa than the practice of meditation. Every time we meditate, we free the mind a little more by not allowing it to wander off in some fancy or vague imagination like that little village girl was spending her time in imagination, in fancy thoughts. When we are in the meditation, in the process of meditation, we free our mind of all those funny thoughts that may come to our mind. So the best way to take sannyas of your sankalpa, to give up your sankalpa, is to start meditation. Starting of meditation. Okay, we go to the next shloka now. Yeah, this is important. Aarurukshu yogam karma karana muchyate yogarudha tasaiva shamah karana muchyate. Now this describes two definitions. One is Aaruruksha and another is yogarudha. So what is Aaruruksha? Aaruruksha is one who has just started the practice of yoga. So he's an aspirant. He has just started. He has just begun the process of yoga, learning of yoga. Muneha is the sage. Yogam, the eightfold yoga system. Karma is your karma, action. Karanam is the means. Uchyate is said to be Aaruruksha, one who has gone to the top of the ladder. This Aaruruksha is at the bottom. Yogarudha has climbed the entire ladder, entire mount of yoga, and he has reached the top. So that is Aaruruksha. Tasya is his. Shama is Shanti. Manashanti. Karanam means Uchyate is said to be. So Aaruruksha Munir Yogam Karma Karanam Uchyate Yogarudha Tasaiva Shama Karanam Uchyate. For the beginners, the aspirants who wish to climb the mountain of spiritual awareness, for them, the path to be followed is selfless work. Aaruruksha yogam karma karanam uchyate. They have to do karma to attain something, to gain something. They have just started the process of yoga. They want to reach the destination. So they have to perform some selfless karma to achieve, to reach that destination. But Aaruruksha yogam karma karanam uchyate, yogarudha, one who has already climbed the top of the ladder, why he needs to do karma? He has already gained whatever he wanted to gain. So he's at the top of the ladder. He is at the top of the mountain of spiritual awareness. But he still has to do karma. Why? For those who have reached the top of that spiritual mountain, in their spiritual awareness, they have attained the Lord. For them, the path is stillness and peace. Stillness of mind and peace of mind, of antakaran. What is antakaran? The unit of your mind, your intellect, your subconscious, and your aham, your I. So this unit is antakaran. So a person who is yogarudha, who has already climbed the mountain of spiritual awareness, he still keep performing the karmas for the purpose of stillness of antakaran and for the peace of antakaran. Now, Shri Krishna uses an imagination of mounting the climbing the mountain. We know that mountain climbing is a sport that requires great endurance and skill. Anyone cannot do that. He compares two types. One is Aaruruksha, one who wants to climb the mountain of spiritual awareness, and the other is yogarudha, the adept who has already made it to the top of the mountain. Yogarudha. A small story to clarify the difference between Aaruruksha and yogarudha. There was a small village in which there was one school in which hundreds of students used to learn. In the village, there was only one school, so all the students used to come to that school only. There were two teachers in the school. One in his mid-30s who had a family and he wanted to support his family. So he took a job in the school. He taught students for which he was getting a monthly salary. With that salary, he was supporting his family, his wife, his kids. In the same school, there was another senior teacher who actually had retired from his job, but he was still coming to the school for teaching the students because he wanted to share his years of experience, years of knowledge of handling different varieties of students. He knew the skill. If this student doesn't understand in this manner, let me follow another way of explaining him. He had gained expertise in teaching the students of different types. So he used to say, I have earned so much of skill in my life. Why should I let it go waste? I will continue to go to school and get myself engaged in teaching the students. But he, of course, did not get any salary for this because he had already retired. He was doing all it for free. But why he was doing all this? For mental peace. Peace of Antakaran. He used to get great amount of peace by sharing his knowledge with the students. The first teacher is Aarurukshu and the second senior teacher is the yogarudha. So this is the difference between Aarurukshu and yogarudha. You see, in order to climb Himalaya by any one of us, we have to first train ourselves little by little. Like in Pune, those who are aware of geography of Pune, there are so many hills within the city of Pune, Parvati, Chatushrangi, Arai, so many hills are there. So if I want to climb Himalaya, let me first try climbing the small hills available nearby. I remember when I had gone to Chardham Yatra all on foot, for months I practiced walking and climbing small hills in our area. And fortunately, Pune has many such hills within the city. So the point was, if you want to climb Himalaya, then you have to do some practice, no, of climbing hills. Sir Edmund Hillary, who climbed a mountain for the first time, he did not just stand at the bottom of Himalaya and took one leap and land on the top of Himalaya. Did it happen that way? He practiced climbing mountain for a long time to learn all the required skills. Similarly, for you and me to climb the mountain of spirituality, the spiritual awareness, we too have to strengthen our muscles over a long period of time. Everyone start as Aarurukshu, and the destination is yogarudha. After we reach the top of the spiritual mountain, Shama means the perfect peace becomes our objective of life. This stillness of ego means that we have become consisting of infinite love. All our agitation has died down because we have nothing else to achieve now. We have achieved what we wanted to achieve in life. All our anger, fear, greed, malice for others, envy have died down when you reach the top of their spiritual ladder. And there is a vast ocean of love flowing in our consciousness when we reach that top. This is what we discover after many years of hard, dedicated yogic sadhana. When our ego is completely eliminated, we have become all love and love only. We no longer work. The Lord works through us. We have nothing to attain. We have gained whatever we want to attain in life. So we still work. Like the Lord doesn't work from himself. The Lord takes care of the entire prani matra, entire sarva bhuta hite rataha. So we follow the Paramatma slogan of sarva bhuta hite rataha. And we do that and we get antakaran, peace of mind by doing so. So starting the journey from Aarurukshu and climbing up to the top of the ladder, becoming yogarudha is this process, and at the end of process, you still continue to work, but at that stage, you do for Shama. Shama is your peace of antakaran. This is the only objective that remains in our life in that. And how to reach there? How to climb that? Through yoga. And what is yoga? Does yoga mean asanas and pranayam? No. Then does yoga mean pratyahar, dhyan, dharana? Does it equate to yoga? No. Yoga chitta vriddhi nirodha. This is the saying. This is yoga. That means complete elimination of all fluctuations and modifications of mind. Stillness of mind is yoga. Your mind should be still. S-T-I-L-L, still. All thoughts, modifications of mind in effect. The state of no mind, this is what it means to be established in yoga. The mind should become thoughtless. thoughtless mind means you are getting established in yoga. Yogashu chitta vritti nirodha. So this is the saying. This is called yoga. And with this yoga only, we can start the journey. We can go to the top of that ladder of spirituality, spiritual awareness. From Aarurukshu to become yogarudha. And in the process, gaining the attribute what Paramatma has, that means working for the welfare of all others, not for self. And in that we get Shama, we get the peace of Antakaran. So understanding this difference between Aarurukshu and yogarudha, now we proceed to slok number 4. Yada hinendriya artheshu na karma svanushajyate sarva sankalpa sanyaasi yogarudhastadochyate. Yada hinendriya artheshu. Yada means when. Indriya artheshu, in the sense gratification. Indriya and artha of indriya, the sense objects. Indriya senses, artha, that means sense object. Indriya artheshu. Karmasu, the sakam karma, the fruity action. The karma which you do with expectation of return and reward is karmasu. Anushajyate, one who is necessarily getting engaged. Sarva sankalpa, all material desires. Sanyaasi, the renouncer who has given up. Yogarudha, who is elevated in yoga to the top of the ladder. Yogarudha. Tada, yada and tada. Yada is when, tada is at that time. Uchyate is said to be. So Paramatma says, whenever one who has neither attachment, who is neither attached to sense gratification, indriyartheshu, is not attached to the sense gratification, nor to the fruity action, sakam karma. Whenever one is completely empty of all sankalpa, that means desires, thoughts of the material world, such a yogi is said to be yogarudha. That means established in yoga. He has attained top of the ladder. The prerequisite is he should have no attachment with the sense gratification. He has no attachment with the fruits of the karma. He should be totally empty mentally of all desires and thoughts related to material world. When you attain that stage, you become a yogarudha. Now, such a yogi is not attached, or he is not attached to any sensory object, sense objects. Now, this does not mean that his senses have stopped interacting with the sense objects. What are the sense objects? Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. That means touch, form, taste, and smell, which are the objects of our senses, our indriyas, our jnanendriyas. Which are our jnanendriyas? Ears, skin, eyes, tongue, and nose. These are our jnanendriyas. So, in case of a sannyasi, a yogarudha, of course, these senses do interact with the sense objects. Ears do hear, eyes do see, tongue does eat or speak. Everything happens as it happens in case of a normal person. But while the senses do their job, this yogarudha, he remains unattached. Whether he gets any material object or not, it does not make any difference to him at all. On the contrary, one who is not a yogi, who is entrenched in all attachments, such a person gets happy when he gets the desired material object, and he gets disappointed or dejected when he does not get that. So a yogi, on the other hand, he lives in perennial joy. No anxiety left in his mind, no sankalpa, no anxiety. He always lives in perennial joy. And the absence of material object does not lessen this joy in any way, because his joy is not dependent on the phenomenal outside material world. A yogi is always joyous, irrespective of whether he gets the world or he does not get. On the contrary, a bhogi, that means a person who is attached to the sensory world, his happiness, on the other hand, is dependent entirely on the material world. He is happy only when he acquires the desired sensory object, or when he is in the company of people with whom he is attached. So his happiness depends on the outside world. While a yogi needs no one, because the source of joy that he has is in his own self. He doesn't need outside help, outside support to gain the joy. He is always established in his self, in his Atma. Thus he needs no crutches, no anchors, and no support from anyone in this material world. He even does not need support of the divine, because he himself has become an embodiment of God. When he is so established in yoga, he has become part of Paramatma. His very essence is divine now. He and God are not two entities now. He has become one with Paramatma. See, ultimately these are the attributes of Paramatma. No involvement in sense gratification, no sights put on the fruits of the karma, and making the mind totally devoid of sankalpa, desires and thoughts. These are the attributes of Paramatma. Paramatma doesn't work for himself, he works for the others. So yogi, having attained this stage, he also doesn't work for himself. He works for Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. Having acquired the Paramatma's attributes, he becomes a part of Paramatma. The key word in this shloka is yada, whenever. So whenever you enter the state of meditation, whenever you become empty of all sankalpa, that means all desires and thoughts, and experience no attachment in all those moments, in all those period of times, you are a sannyasi. This means that albat temporarily, though temporarily, we too get the blazed with grace of becoming a sannyasi. This thought does come to our mind, everybody's mind, sometime or the other in life. After all, have we not experienced a single moment wherein the mind has become still with no thoughts, no desires, no attachment? It does happen. Once in a while, it does happen with us. We do get these moments, but they remain only for a fraction of a moment, fraction of a second, and do not last long. But we do enjoy that momentary stillness of the mind when mind becomes totally sankalpa-less, devoid of sankalpa, devoid of desires. All you have to do is to bring this stillness, this thoughtlessness in your day-to-day life. Actions will happen, which means that some or the other sankalpa will be there in your mind all the time. We are human beings. But deep down, you should maintain non-attachment to that sankalpa. That is the skill, and that you can acquire through yoga. Be totally present wherever you are. You are in a party, in a gathering of people, you are in a group of people, be there. Not that you run away from there, you be there. But deep down, within, remain unattached to all that crowd or the members of that crowd, devoid of any desire or any selfish intent. Yogashu chitta vritti niruddha. This is the yoga. The complete elimination of the fluctuations and modifications of mind, all thoughts, is yoga. And when you attain that stage, you become a yogarudha. The state of no mind, the state of no thoughts is what it means to be established in yoga. Your mind becomes still, S-T-I-L-L, still. And that is the state which you can attain through yoga to become a yogarudha. Okay, we go to the next sloka, fifth sloka now. Very important, very, very important. Uddharedatmana atmanan atmanam avasadayet atmaiva hyatmano bandhur atmaiva ripuratmanaha. Wonderful sloka. Uddharedatmana atmanam. Uddharet, to uplift, to upgrade. Atmanam, self. Atmana, by self. Avasadayet. Avasadayet, to fall down, to get degraded. Atma, you yourself. Atmana, your bandhu. Bandhu is friend. Atma, you. Atmana, your and Ripu is enemy. So Uddharedatmanatmanan Natmanamavasadayet Atmaiva Atmano Bandhur Atmaiva Ripuratmana. A man is responsible for his rise, upliftment, growth, or liberation. Emancipation is the word. So your rise, your upliftment, your growth, and your liberation, he is responsible. He himself is responsible for that. And he himself is responsible for his degradation or downfall. Uddharedatmanatmanan natmana avasadayet. You fall down or you rise up, you are responsible for that. Because the self alone is the friend and the enemy of the oneself. So your own friend is you, your own enemy is you. You are responsible for your upliftment, your rise, your growth, or even your liberation. And you are responsible for your downfall or your degradation. Who will liberate you? Who will get you to salvation, to moksha and mukti? Who will deliver you? Guru? No. You have to do this through your own efforts. Guru can only advise you. But you have to do with your own efforts, through your own resolve. And who makes you fall or plummet? We keep blaming others for our failures. This fellow did not help me in time, and that is why I could not achieve what I wanted to really achieve. That fellow always had grudge against me, etc., etc., etc. You blame circumstances or others for your downfall. But remember that no one can lead you to the estate of downfall if you don't allow them to. So no one can entangle you if you don't want to get entangled. It is you who is responsible for the downfall and deterioration. Don't blame others. You are responsible for that. The Lord says that the one who can either be your savior or the reason for downfall is none other than you yourself. It is entirely up to you whether you want to rise or fall, because the Jivatma alone is the friend of or the enemy of oneself. Whether you want to be your friend or your enemy is entirely up to you. You see, no one has taught you how to be angry. Even the small kids get angry. Has anyone taught them? So no one teaches us how to be entrenched in the attachment or aversion. Nobody teaches. How to be deceitful or conceited. Nobody teaches us. You have not received any training for this. You know it on your own. You don't need training to fall down. But you do need training, appropriate training, to rise and evolve. And it is for this reason that you need to abide by a guru and practice under his guidance. A gardener is needed to seeding, to water it, to nourish it, to protect it from the animals or the unfavorable weather. Only when will the seed grow? When everything is taken care of by the gardener. That seed will grow into a sturdy tree. Thus, those who think that they achieve the spiritual heights without the vigilant guru, guidance of guru, are akin to those whose seeds will not sprout. You need some guru in life, some advisor in life. Even if they do, they will get destroyed by the rough weather or eaten by animals. Even if that tree grows into a sapling, the seed grows into a sapling, it will be eaten by some animals or will be destroyed by the rough weather or cut down by the people. Therefore, the disciple needs to be in close vicinity of the guru, close contact with the guru, not the physical proximity and looking at his face. No, that's not the proximity means. Abiding by guru means bringing his words in your actual practice. Live in jurisdiction of the guru. You will go as a servant and return as a king if you go to a proper guru. Thus, always be aware what is appropriate and what is not, what is valuable and what is not. Whatever mistakes we have committed, whatever difficulties we have, all that we have to do is to leave aside all supports from this material world and trust the Lord completely. Because He is right within us. In trusting Lord, we are trusting our real self. By putting our life under His guidance, we are letting our life to be governed by the wisest part of our consciousness. Ultimately, we have only one real friend in this world, that is our own Jivatma, the Lord within, who is our real self. This best friend of ours is telling us all the time that I will forgive you whatever you have done thus far, provided you now try to remove all selfishness from your heart and your life. I will support you despite all the mistakes of past if you try now to live for others, for the society, and not for your selfish intent. And I will bring you into your full beauty and wisdom if you will meditate on me. And remember that I am present in every creature. Sarvasya chaham mridasannavishto or mamai mamsho jivaloke. 2 shlokas of 15th adhyay. So remember those 2 shlokas all the time. Those who follow this diktat are their own friends, and those who do not, they are their own enemies. Uddharedatmanatmanan natmanamo sadhet atmaiva yatmano bandhur atmaiva ripuratmana. You are your own friend, you are your own enemy. You decide what you want to be. Okay, we go to 6th sloka now. Bandhuratmatmanastasya yenat vaimatmana jitaha anatmanastu shatrutve vartetatmaiva shatruvat. Bandhu is the friend. Atma, to yourself. Atmana, by yourself. Tasya, for him. Yena, one who. Jita is conquered. Shatru is of course enemy. Vartetat means to remain. Atmaiva, of himself. So Paramatma said, Bandhuratma atmanastasya yenat vaimatmana jitaha anatmanastu shatrutve vartetat maiva shatruvat. So who is his friend and who is the enemy? The Jivatma, that means the individual self, is the friend of the Jivatma for one who has command over his body, senses and mind. But when the body, senses and mind have not been conquered by the individual self takes the stance of the enemy. What is Jiva? It is the reflection of cosmic Chaitanya, Supreme Chaitanya, all-knowing, all-pervading Chaitanya, Supreme Consciousness into our Antakaran. So the reflection of Supreme Consciousness, Cosmic Chaitanya in our Antakaran is our Jiva. And what is Antakaran? We discussed it many times. The collective unit of our mind, our intellect, our subconscious and our Aham is our Antakaran. So, if we take the analogy of sun reflected in the mirror, then Chaitanya, that Supreme Chaitanya, Cosmic Chaitanya, is the sun. The mind is the mirror. And the reflection in the mirror of the mind is our Jiva. Sun, the Cosmic Chaitanya, mind is the mirror, and the image, the reflection that you see in the mirror is our Jiva. If we connect all these three together, that means the Supreme Chaitanya, the mind, and the reflection of the Chaitanya in the mind, then whatever we get, this is known as Jivatma. So Jiv and Jivatma. And in short, the same is also referred as Jiva. Sometimes we interchangeably use Jiva and Jivatma. The Lord says that the one who has surmounted, who has won his body, mind and senses, he is his own friend. On the contrary, the one who has not mastered his body, his mind and his senses, he is his own enemy. So now you decide for yourself as whether where we stand. All of us, let us gauge ourselves where we stand on this definition. Whether you are your own friend or you are your own enemy. And in all this, you have to be sincere in your self-study. No mask. No mask will give you the real you. You can gain control of your body through rigorous asanas. Suppose you understand and you accept yourself that I have no control over my body. Then what is the remedy? You gain control of your body through rigorous asanas. You can master your mind through practice of pratyahara. What is pratyahara? Restraining of senses is pratyahara. So if you accept that you have no control over body, you have no control over your senses, you have no control over your mind, then these are the tips Paramatma is giving. That if you want to gain control over your body, follow rigorous asanas. If you want to master your mind, follow the practice of pratyahara, restraining of senses, dharana, that means concentration, and dhyana, that means meditation. And you can surmount your intellect through contemplation. So you have surmounted, you have won your body, then your mind, and how to win your intellect? By manan chintan, by contemplation of Paramatma. So these are the three techniques by which, even if we have no control over our body, mind, intellect, we can still try to gain that. Further, who can get control of his senses? The one whose mind and intellect are in repose, no action, and equipoised. That means you have to work on all the fronts. To become a yogi, you have to fight on all fronts. You have to work on all fronts. Body, mind, senses, and intellect. That is why there is a point in just, you see, some people blindly keep saying that, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahmasmi. Without knowing what is Brahma and what is Asmi, they will say, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahma, I am Brahma. But in the point in meaninglessly saying this, I am Brahmasmi. It is pointless to keep repeating Aham Brahmasmi when there is no awareness while you are talking, while you are eating, or you are performing any action. When there is no awareness when you are doing all these actions and you still keep saying I am Brahmasmi, it makes no sense. When the body is unhealthy, mind is dissipated, intellect is not equipoised, and you are attached or entrenched in attachment, how can you say Aham Brahmasmi? Only merely repeating these words Aham Brahmasmi does not make us Brahma. A small story about Gautam Buddha. How to restrain Atma Sanyam. Buddha used to sleep only on one side through the entire night. He takes one position and he sleeps in that position only. Once his disciple, his name was Ananda, who always used to be with him through day and through night, he asked him once why he slept as he did, without even changing his sleeping position even once throughout the night. When normally people turn, bend their knees, sleep over their back sometimes change this side, that side, and so on. Buddha replied, when I was working on my awareness, once I changed my position while asleep without being aware that I have done so. And Buddha felt bad about it, that I was not aware and I changed my body position without being aware. Since then, I started to sleep in this one position only because I want to be aware. Can you imagine the depth of resolve Buddha had? He was greatly troubled by the seemingly innocuous act of changing his position, changing his posture unawarefully, and that too when he was sleeping, he was in his sleep. Such dedication towards being aware at all times. That was Buddha. The body sleeps, but he is aware within. Great thing to happen. Body sleeps, but he is aware within. He doesn't change body position. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you eat, the way you sleep, every act reveals whether you are aware or you are not. You see, the body is the reflection of mind. Thus, when you are taking efforts to master your body through, say, asanas, in effect, you are gaining control over your mind. You can remain still, stable in any asana only when your mind is stable and balanced. Thus, the Lord says that the one who has surmounted, who has won his body, senses, and mind, he is his own friend, and the one who has been defeated by his body or mind or senses, he is his own enemy. Bandhuratmatmanastasya kenatmaimatmana jitaha anatmanastu shatrutve vartetar maiva shatruvat. Okay, we go to 7th sloka now. Jitatmanah prashantasya paramatma samahitaha शीतोष्ण सुख दुखेषु तथा मानापमानयोः. Now Paramatma says Jitatmana. Jitatmana, that means the one who has conquered his mind himself. Prashantasya. Prashantasya is a person who is nirvikar, one who has attained tranquility by his control over himself. He is Prashantasya. Paramatma is of course Supreme God. Samahitaha, available every time, attained completely. Shita Ushna. Shita Ushna by temperature also, and Shita means favorable, Ushna means unfavorable. Sukha Dukha, happiness and distress. Man Apman, honor and insult or dishonor. So Paramatma says in this shloka, Jitatmana prashantasya paramatma samahita shitoshna sukdukheshu tatha manapamanayoho. The one who remains equanimous and peaceful in all conditions, heat or cold, favorable or unfavorable, happiness or sorrow, honor or dishonor, such a person is firmly established in pure self, in his pure self. Now, such a person crosses over all the dualities and remains equipoised in all the contrasting situations, favorable, unfavorable, happy, sad, distress, and all that. Even today, yogis live in Himalaya with only a thin loincloth wrapped. They want to put in practice the Vedantic statement that I am not this body. And to prove that point, they don't put woolen or sweater or such clothes, even living in Himalaya. A small loincloth. They shed all the clothes and live in extreme cold, where the temperatures could go as low as minus 30 degrees centigrade. They say it is the body which experiences the cold, not I, because I am not body. It is with this steadfast resolve, which of course some undisclosed meditational practices which they follow, but those things they see them through this extreme cold. In Tibet, they teach a yogic practice in which you become able to start sweating in extreme cold weathers. Temperature is minus, but you can start sweating. That is the power of yoga. The principle is same. I am not body. They reset the thermostat of their body. Thermostat is the instrument which allows an equipment to work up to a certain temperature. After that, it will trip. So that is thermostat, which is a gauge of temperature. So they reset the thermostat of their body through yogic practices. And thus they can either generate or dissipate heat as needed. Likewise, the body thermostat can be set such that the people are finding extreme heat in summer. The body of this yogi can stay very refreshingly cool because he has already reset his thermostat of the body through yogic practice. Your normal respiration is 14 to 18 per minute. Normal respiration of a normal human being is 14 to 18 times per minute. It is 20 or even higher per minute in case of those who are restless or who are agitated. Their respiration speed goes up, of course. But once you master your body and reduce the rate of inspiration, by the time the breath count gets reduced to 8 per minute. From 14 to 18, it drops down to 8 per minute. Then the mind will be quietened, still. And once this drops to 4 per minute, you will enter into the state of meditation. And through yogic practice, what we do is exactly this. Who says it is not necessary to master the body? This body is a tool for spiritual evolution, for attaining spiritual upliftment. Moreover, who can pinpoint where the body ceases and the mind commences? Is there any distinct boundary, any line of demarcation between the body and the mind? See, body is nothing but a gross form of mind, and the mind is nothing but a subtle version of the body. In other words, this means that when you work on body, it affects the mind and vice versa. The one who is not enslaved to his body, his senses, his mind, is said to be self-reliant, and he is not dependent on anything or anyone else. Furthermore, the intellect of such a person is always equipoised and established in the Supreme Parabrahma with unwavering conviction. Thus, such a self-reliant person effortlessly abides in his pure self, in his Atma. And this he can achieve through yogic practice, Atma Sayyam. Okay, shlok number 8. Jnana Vijnana Truptatma Kutastho Vijitendriyaha Yukta Ityachyate Yogi Samalo Shtrashma Kanchanaha. Again, the principle of equanimity comes. Samatma Yoga Uchyate is the basic foundation of Bhagavad Gita. We read in 2nd Adhyay. So this Samatva again comes in this shloka. Jnana. Jnana is Atma Jnana. Self-realization is Jnana. And Vijnana, the knowledge about the world. Truptatma, satisfied soul. Kutastha, one who is nirvikar, tranquil. What is Kut, you know? Kut is in that jeweler's shop, there is an anvil of forged steel that is kept, on which that goldsmith, he will put some ornament and he will try to modify the shape of it with a small hammer, tiny hammer. The ornament could be of gold, silver, bronze, copper, platinum, anything. But that Kut, that particular block of steel, it remains equipoised, nirvikar. Whether you hammer on it platinum or gold or silver or bronze or copper, anything, that Kut remains nirvikar. So Kutastha is a person who remains nirvikar in all situations. Vijitendriya, one who has full control over his senses, indriyas, is Vijitendriya. Yukta, who is a yogarudha yogi who has already self-realized himself, is Yukta. Uchyate is said to be Sama, is equipoised, and Loshtashma Kanchana, that means the clod, Mittika Dhira, Patthar, stone, and gold. So Paramatma says, the one whose antakaran is devoid of afflictions and contented with higher knowledge, who has conquered senses, who sees sameness in everything, whether it is a lump of mud, a stone, or a nugget of gold. They are all same for him. Such a yogi is said to have attained self-realization. Now there are 5 sense organs, as we know: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. Some people include mind also in this list, saying that this is our sixth sense, because the senses on their own are inert. Your eyes doesn't have any intellect built in the eyes. Your ears do not have any intellect built into them. It is the mind that experiences the sensory through the medium of senses. It is the mind that senses all this. Therefore, we must understand that mastering senses means being in command of your mind. See, the body is inert. It is the mind that experiences the sensation of touch, sight, smell, sound, or taste. These are the objects of our senses. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. But this gauging is sensed by the mind, not by the senses themselves. Check for yourself where you stand at the moment. Are you in control of your senses? Is your mind stable? Is your intellect equipoised? If the answer is no, then it is but obvious that you have a long way to go, a lot of work needed to be done. So where is the time for inconsequential political discussions, idle gossiping, or worry about this, worry about that? We are already running short of time. We have not won our mind, intellect, senses. We would spend a lot of time in doing that. Why waste time in inconsequential political discussions? ये आएगा कि वो आएगा, वो होगा कि ये होगा. Better spend time in controlling your body, senses, mind. Once a businessman gifted a stack of silver coins. An interesting story about Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Once a businessman, he gave a stack of silver coins to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He did not want to accept it. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa refused, saying that, no, I don't accept such things. But this businessman insisted, with great insistence from that fellow, Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he accepted it. But no sooner than he had received that stack of silver coins from that businessman, he handed over it back to that person, saying that, now, this belongs to me. He said, yes, of course, this belongs to you. I have given it to you. Now do as I say. Yes, sir, I will do what you say. Go and throw all these coins in the river Ganga. Needless to say, the businessman was dismayed, shocked at the prospect of throwing his precious coins in the river. But he would not refuse the Swamiji. Thus he went to the Ganga river. An hour passed, then 2 hours passed, but still there was no sign of that businessman coming back to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. After waiting for another couple of hours, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa went to the river side to see what this fellow was doing. He saw that that businessman was sitting on a rock by this river side, and he was picking one coin at a time. He will take one coin, look at it with great affection, and then somehow with very heavy heart, he would somehow throw one coin in the river. Then again take another coin, look at it with affection for a long time, and again throw it in the river. Ramakrishna rushed swiftly to him, grabbed that bag of coins, and threw all of them in the river in one single action. He then questioned the man that once you offered them to me, no longer did the coins belong to you. But look at the intensity of our attachment to them, that despite the fact that they were mine, you were still finding it hard, so hard to throw them in the river. So why this attachment when you already given it to me? The one who grades the material objects as being valuable or not, who classifies objects as per their perceived worth, such a person can never become a yogi. And only to prove this point, Paramatma says, Samaloshtashma Kanchanaha. A yogi should be able to see all these three in equanimity. It does not mean that yogi does not understand the difference between a currency note and the piece of a waste paper. He doesn't understand, of course. He will buy something from the shop and he will offer a piece of newspaper saying that both are same. No, he doesn't do that. He knows the difference between the newspaper and the currency note. You have seen children playing with the fake currency notes in various board games. Mintu was some such child who had such note which had a printed value of rupees 500. He proudly showed this 500 rupees note to his friends. And all the friends of his age only, they excitedly asked for a party. Mintu party ho, tumhare paas 500 rupees hai. Thus Mintu took all his friends to a restaurant. Looking at their age, the waiter asked, "Arey bhai, tumhare paas paisa hai kya? Do you have money?" And Mintu proudly said, "Don't worry, I have 500 rupees. Then they ate burgers and pizzas and ice cream and whatnot. Then Mintu paid with his note And when he paid with this 500 rupees note, the waiter fainted. Young children are innocent. A jnani has the same innocence, same purity, and same simplicity of a child. We spoil the children by teaching that money is everything in life. Accumulate as much money as you can, sometimes irrespective of the means you follow for accumulation of money. Yes, money is needed to sustain and maintain the body. Yes, agreed. But money cannot give you happiness. It cannot give you happiness in life. And this is what we need to teach the children. It is good to remember that gold is not valuable by itself. It is valuable because there is so little of it. If the sand were to be found only in small quantities, people would treasure sand in their safe deposit vaults. They would buy sand certificate like we buy gold certificate. On important occasions, they would exchange a little sand as we exchange gold. What gives value to anything is its usefulness to the others. Our body draws its value from its usefulness in serving the others. And our life draws its value not from the money we make or for the prizes we win or the power we wield over others, but from the service we give every day to others to add a little bit more to their happiness. There is no better tribute or homage or Shraddhanjali to a person than to say that he lived his life for others. These are the greatest words that can be spoken after a person passes away. And that is all the Lord is asking us to do in order to move closer to Him. Live the life for others. Lord says, a person who is contented means he does not want anything as he is completely satisfied with what he has. The one who is free of all afflictions, who does not differentiate between gold and gravel, meaning he has no greed whatsoever, who is supremely contented in the inner knowledge, such a person is known as the man of realization, a jnani. Jnana Vijnana Triptatma Kutusto Vijitendriya Yukta Ittichite Yogi Samaloštashma Kanchana. Okay, we go to the next slok now. Slok number 9. Suranmitraridasi namadhyastha dvesha bandhushu sadishvavija papeshu samabuddhirvishishyate. Again, principle of equanimity. Surut means the well-wisher. Mitra, friend. Udasin, a neutral person. Madhyastha, the mediator. Dvesha, the envious person. Bandhushu, the relative. Sadhushu, a pious saint. Papeshu, the sinner. Samabuddhi, person having such equanimity. Vishishyate is far more advanced, is far more jnani. So Paramatma says, he who regards the well-wishers, the friends, the relatives, the enemies, the benefactors, the indifferent ones, the pious ones, the sinner ones, with an equal eye. With a such a compassionate being is regarded as the greatest of all. Suramidradasena Madhyastha Dveshavandushu Sadhushu Vijapapeshu Samabuddhir Vishishyate. He is a Vishesh person. The Lord is describing the attributes of a jnani, a man of realization. He is compassionate and loves everyone without any ulterior motive. See, there are some kinds of person around you. Some are your friends, some are your relatives, some are strangers, some are kind to you, some hate you, some love you, and some are indifferent towards you. उनको कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, whatever you do. They are indifferent to you. Lord says, a jnani views all of them equally without sentiment of discrimination. Samatlo. Further, the jnani sees the righteous and unrighteous also with an equal eye. Why go far? Look at the life of Lord Shri Krishna. The Pandavas were his friends and relatives, whereas Duryodhana regarded Shri Krishna as his enemy. Despite this, Shri Krishna happily accepted Duryodhana's dinner invitation. He did go and attend dinner with Duryodhana. Shri Krishna knew very well that Duryodhana harbored some great animosity towards him and could harm him. but he had no problem in accepting the invitation. Likewise, in Mahabharata war, the Lord offered his help to both the sides, to Kauravas as well as to Pandavas. It was another matter that Duryodhana foolishly asked for Sri Krishna's army than the Lord himself. Sri Krishna never refused to help Duryodhana. A jnani never discriminates between a pious and a sinner, a righteous and an unrighteous person. You might have heard the name of Santa Rohidas. He was a charmakar, that means the animal leather worker. Someone asked him, why did you go for a Ganga bath? Then Santa Rohidas said, he replied, Man changa to kathod mein Ganga. The water from Ganga and water in his leather container was same for him. He did not differentiate in them. That is the attribute of a yogi. Man changa to kathod mein Ganga. Similarly, a small story, Gautam Buddha, a prostitute, a beautiful prostitute, she invited Gautam Buddha for lunch. Gautam Buddha's followers were outraged by the audacity shown by that prostitute and asked Gautam Buddha not to accept her invitation. She is not a good lady. She is not a lady. But Buddha replied that a doctor ought to go where the sick are, for they are the real one who need a doctor. And I know that no one needs me more than this ailing woman. So I have to go. A jnani does not treat anyone differently. Be it someone who is righteous or unrighteous, they are all same for him. So again, the principle of equanimity, which is said in so many shlokas in Bhagavad Gita. Next shloka, shloka number 10. Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasya stitaha ekakiyata chittatma nirashira parigraha. Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasya stitaha ekakiyata chittatma nirashira parigraha. Now we'll go directly to the meaning. Time is running. So Paramatma says in this shloka, the one who has surmounted, who has conquered his body, senses and mind, such a yogi is free from desires and possessiveness. He lives alone in seclusion and immerses himself in the remembrance of Paramatma. Yogi yunji sadatam atmanam rahasya ekaki yata chittatma nirashira parigraha. A parigraha, person who doesn't accumulate things of material value. So unlike ordinary people who keep on accumulating stuff for the elusive tomorrow, लगेगा, मेरे बच्चों को लगेगा, बच्चों के बच्चों को लगेगा, my grandson will require, so let me accumulate something. A jnani has no tendency to acquire or hoard these objects of material nature. For a jnani, he lives in present moment and his needs are minimal. Now in the context of question that may come is, does the jnani king, they did not accumulate? There are jnani kings also. They did not accumulate or what? No, they did. Lord Krishna was also a king. He was required to take care of his people, his praja. Acquiring wealth and maintaining possessions is done by the king. He also does it. But there is a big, huge difference. The ignorant one holds on to his possession with intense attachment, with a sense of, this is mine, it belongs to me. On the contrary, the man of self-realization, he may have wealth and material object. The crucial difference is, he is totally unattached to it. Attachment is the difference. A beggar has nothing, he owns nothing, but the spot in the city where he begs, then be it by the side of a pole, he regards that spot as belonging to him. ये मेरी जगह है. रोज यहीं से भीख मांगता हूँ, ये मेरी जगह है. And if any other beggar comes there, he makes them scram, asserting that this is my place. How you have come to my place? This is my place. It is another matter that these days some beggars in some locations sometimes make more money than a middle class man also. But this is the tendency of beggars. They treat that place as also their place. If there is attachment in mind, a person can get attached to anything at all. And what about living in seclusion? Ekakiyata chittatma. Let us not be under the misconception that you will attain inner quietude by living in some isolated cave or some such place. Solitude or quietude means being empty of all thoughts. You can be in the crowd, you can live in the family, you can be in the party, you can be with the friends, but emptiness of thoughts is something which is required to be attained. When you don't get what you have desired for, it keeps your mind unhappy. When we go for to meet an important person whom we love most, we keep our mind fresh and happy. Or if he is a very important person, I have to impress him. I should look happy. I should be happy. I should dress very well. And you go and meet him. And then when we are going to meet the God, how happy we must be. God is the highest of all. So should we go to God with a saddened face, with a lot of frustrations in mind, with a lot of unfulfilled desires in our mind? To achieve that, we need to sacrifice all and get into the routine of sitting in a secluded place for focused meditation. With this only we can go closer to the God and can disconnect ourselves from the material world, at least temporarily. And once we practice this meditation for a longer period of time, then we can expertise in that. And even then, when you are dealing in day-to-day activities, you can remain secluded as if you are in your own world. You are behaving in the normal world, but you create your own world which is close to Paramatma than this material world. That will help us reducing the unhappiness, anxiety in the mind. So now I proceed to slok number 11 and 12, which are interconnected. And from this shloka, Paramatma is teaching us step by step how to enter into meditation. Atma Sanyam. Meditation is the best remedy for Atma Sanyam, for best tool for Atma Sanyam. And that technique of meditation, Paramatma is going to explain to us step by step. Right from how to select the place, how to sit, how to control your mind, everything. So, slok number 11. Shucho deshe pratisthapya sthiramasanamatmanaha natichridannati nichai chaila jinakushottaram. We'll understand the meaning of this shloka and then we'll discuss slok 11 and 12 together. Shucho, Shucha means Shuddha, pious, pavitra, sanctified place. Deshe is the place. Pratisthapya, by placing. Sthiram, sthiram is firmness, firm. Asana, asana is seat. Atmanaha, his own. Ati, ati means too much. Uchritam, high. Ati, too much. Nicham, too low. Chaila ajana, a soft cloth and deer skin. Kusha, kusha means grass. Uttaram is covering. So Paramatma says, to practice the meditational yoga, one should go to a secluded, pious place, should lay kusha, that means grass, on the ground, cover it with soft cloth and deer skin. The seat should be neither too high nor too low. Shucho deshe pratisthapya sthiramasanamatmanaha natichridannati nichai chaila janakushottaram. And after going there and sitting like this, what you have to do? Next shloka. Tatraikagram manakrutva yatachittendriya kriyaha apavishyasane yunjad yogamatma vishuddhaye. Tatra, thereupon after this, ekagram, with the attention fully focused, with concentration, mana, mind, krutva, making, yatachitta, controlling the mind, indriya, senses, kriya, your actions, upavishya, upavishya is sitting, asane, on the seat, yunjat. To study the meditation, yogam. Yogam is the practice of yoga, atma vishuddhaye. purification of your antakaran, purification of your mind. So Paramatma says in these shlokas, the practice of yoga, how to perform step by step. One should sit in a clean spot. The sit should neither be too high nor too low. The sit is made placing a deer skin on the top of heap of grass, and a soft cloth is placed atop that deer skin. And mind you, that deer should have died its natural death and should not be killed by a poacher. Here Sri Krishna advises us to choose a clean place for practicing meditation. Clean in the sense that having pure air, quietness and austerity. You can find that place in your house also. You don't have to go outside. Then the practitioner should firmly sit on the sit in a fixed posture. Having focused the mind and the senses controlled, he should practice yoga for the purification of antakaran, Atma Vishuddhaye. No other gain, but only purification of antakaran should be the objective of entering into meditation. Now in earlier shlokas, we discussed about the inner quietude of inner and not outer. But this does not mean, we discussed that even when you are in crowd, you can be alone. You can find peace within yourself, even you are attending parties or you're with friends and all that. But that does not mean you should always be in the crowd. Paramatma says, sometimes you need to take some time out where you can sit in a quiet place, secluded place. Furthermore, the spot should be clean and the seat should be comfortable. The seat is made by placing the layer of dried grass on the ground. Basically, this layer should be a bad conductor of energy. Because when you are in the yogic practice, you are in meditation, your body generates a lot of energy. You don't want that energy to get passed on to the earth. So you have to use a bad conductor of electricity, bad conductor of energy, so that the energy is generated in your body does not get dissipated. It remains in you. That is the objective of meditation, no? And then the sit should neither be too high nor too low. Make sure there are no any creeping, crawling creatures around. If you sit too low, you may get some insect here and there. If you sit too high, maybe during meditation, you go in trance and then you may fall down also. So to avoid both the risks, Paramatma says, Nate chitan nate niche, not too high, not too low. Once seated, focus the mind. These are the steps Paramatma is saying. Focus the mind, making it single pointed and control all the senses, rein in all the senses. Moreover, Paramatma says, still the subconscious mind, quieten. Still the subconscious mind and practice yoga in order to purify your antakaran. Now this is important. Do note that the practice of yoga is said to begin after one is seated in asana, after the senses have been subjugated, restrained, controlled, and after the subconscious mind has been stilled. Only when all this is accomplished does the practice of yoga commences. So if you go to your friend and if he says, oh, just wait for 10 minutes, I will do my meditation and come back. You can assume that that fellow is not doing meditation. Because the process of entering into meditation doesn't happen so fast. You need a lot of efforts to enter into meditation. Now, what is this yoga which will begin only after the body, senses and mind have been mastered? The Lord will explain this in the upcoming shlokas, which we'll discuss in our next session. So time is to stop now, and now the forum is open for all of you to raise your questions. Thank you very much for patiently listening to me. Jai Shri Krishna to all.
Thank you, Bhaya, for making us understand the deeper meaning of Atma Sanyam Yoga. Now we'll move to question answer session. Please everyone raise your hand and on your videos and wait for your chance to come.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Yes,
Today, let us keep the questions to bare minimum because a lot of time has gone and it's pretty late. So we'll consider all questions in the next few sessions of this adhyay. Today we'll restrict the number of questions. Let us see the questions.
Praniti ji. Unmute. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Jai Shri Krishna. I just wanted to ask about the meaning kutastha.
I said no, kutastham is the koot is the item that you see in the shop of a goldsmith. Koot is an forged item of steel that is kept in the goldsmith shop. That is called kuta, which remains nirvikar irrespective of the ornament that you are creating on it by hitting it with a small hammer. So that koot remains nirvikar even if the ornament is of gold or bronze. So our kutastha, our atma is like that. That jnani, he is kutastha. That means he remains nirvikar in all situations. Whether he gets something favorable, unfavorable, sad, happy, he remains nirvikar. So kutastha is a person who remains unimpressed with whatever he gets. That's kutastha.
One more meaning of kut is gahan or good, as kuta prashna, as we say. So I thought whether it is related to that. One who is difficult to understand and he is good.
Yeah, kutaniti also we say kutaniti. So that is a different thing. Kutastha here is having that meaning. Nirvikar. Yeah.
Okay. Dhanyavad.
Rita ji.
जय श्री कृष्ण सबको सभी को। ये आपका विवेचन को मैं सुनने के लिए बड़ा उत्सुक रहती हूँ, मगर कभी कभी मेरा यहाँ जो काम है, it doesn't allow me to hear from the beginning to the end. How can I listen to your विवेचन और समझाने के जो तरीका है, it is really mesmerizing and समझ में आ जाता है कि गीता का क्या इसमें क्या बोला गया है. So I would like to know if there are any alternatives so that I can later on hear the entire thing you have explained.
Yes. That is the purpose of Gita Pariwar holding these sessions on the weekends. That whatever Gita we learn during the weekdays, we should go deeper into it. The meaning of deeper into it is doing this kind of thought provoking. To get into the detailed meaning of the shlokas. What is the background of the shlokas? Why Paramatma has given us that message? Which of the messages which can really follow in our day-to-day life? But before that, we need to understand what Paramatma has said. So that's what we discuss in this Vivechan Satras. Now, coming back to your question, these Vivechan Satras are available on learngeeta.com, public Vivechan. On the app also, I think Didi will share the link also with you. You can listen to this Vivechana many times, as many times as you want. I agree with you that hearing it only once may not be sufficient, because hurriedly, if something is heard, then probably it does not get so much deep in our thoughts. But if you hear the same thought number of times, then it really starts penetrating.
Yes, we need to hear it again and again to get the grasp of it.
So that's why I say that people on Learngeeta. Yeah.
Please share the banner, please.
Yeah. Jai Shri Krishna.
Murali ji.
Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya and Didi. Thank you for taking my question. The question is, there is Bhakti Yoga, Gnana Yoga, everything. He explains different kinds of ways to reach God, right? But when we go in practice, we seem to combine different aspects of different, different ways, and say that is the way we have to go. So, for example, if Bhakti Yoga, all he is expecting us is for Bhakti, right? In him, right? So then we are not, are we still restricted by the other practices, like we have to do this way, we should not touch fire, all those things. So how does that work? But it looks to me sometimes in the society, we are combining several aspects, not understanding fully and forming our own way. I don't know whether that is right or wrong, but I feel that way.
You see, in Bhagavad Gita, 3 permanent paths have been suggested by Lord Krishna. One is Jnana Yoga, which we learn in 2nd Adhyaya. It is also called Sankhya Yoga or Buddhi Yoga. Second is Karma Yoga, which we learn in 3rd, 4th, 5th Adhyaya. And second is Karma Yoga, and third is Bhakti Yoga, which we learn in 12th Adhyaya. Okay. Now, these 3 paths lead to the same destination, attaining Paramatma.
Okay.
But Jnana Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, it needs some kind of previous knowledge. And that knowledge comes from your past sanskars. Sanskars get created from your previous lives also. Or you might create in this life also by intense study of Adhyatmic literature, including Vedas, Upanishads and all that. You can build your own bank of knowledge. But everybody cannot do that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the
that's
best
true.
form available to us, people like us, is Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. If we follow only Karma Yoga, Nishkam Karma Yoga, that you do the things without expecting any return reward and do it without the sense of doership. If we do every karma with these 2 things taken care of, then our every karma becomes a Nishkam Karma. But following only karma is a very dry process, isn't it? Paramatma doesn't like dryness. We need to add the juice of Bhakti. Bhakti is what Paramatma likes the most. So our Nishkam Karma Yoga, when it is added with Bhakti, then that is the recipe which Paramatma likes the most.
Oh,
So we need to, at least these 2, Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Jnana Yoga may or may not be possible for everybody, but Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, yes, this is possible for all the human beings. So these 2 parts we must study in more details and try to study the shlokas in Gita related to Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. In 12th Adhyaya, Paramatma has given 39 attributes of bhaktas which he likes the most. Adveshta from that slok 13 onwards. So we need to study these specific shlokas which teach us Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, and at least try to bring them in our day-to-day life. Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, okay, maybe not so easy for us to follow. But you are right that we need to follow mix of these. We cannot stick to only Karma Yoga, or we cannot stick to only Bhakti Yoga. Karma cannot be avoided. If you say that for the whole day I will only keep chanting Paramatma's name and do the thing, then Paramatma doesn't expect that. Karma has a great significance. Nobody can avoid karma. Nobody should avoid karma. Paramatma himself has said in 3rd Adhyaya, Name patasti kartavyan tishu lokeshu kinchana nana vaptam vaptamyam varta evacha karmani. Arjuna, I don't have to attain anything. I don't want to gain anything. And there is nothing which I cannot get. But even then, I keep myself busy in doing karma. Because if I don't follow karma, people will follow me. And they will also not do anything. So Paramatma set an example of doing karma, but at the same time, Paramatma expects we also go the bhakti marga way to keep our karma, nishkam karma, not a totally dry process, but to add a taste to it by adding little juice of our bhakti rasa. Isn't
yeah.
it?
So then, yeah, that makes very good sense, Bhaiya. Thank you very much. So in that way, that means there are some practices like, Shraddha and all, right? Do we still
Yeah.
follow those things, or that when you're following Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, do we still have to do those things, or how does that work?
See, without Shraddha, whatever karma you do has no meaning at all.
No,
Ashraddha
Shraddha.
tapas
No,
tattam
that's,
kritajyat
yeah.
madhudityichate partha nacha tatpretya no iho. The end of fifth Adhyaya was this. That if you do any sattvic karma without Shraddha, without faith in God, it is useless.
No,
So
I didn't
Shraddha
say
is the basic
Shraddha.
thing one should have.
No, I didn't say Shraddha. Shraddha, like the final rites
Shraddha.
and all. Yeah.
Okay. See, that is a part of rituals that we
Yeah.
perform for our own mental satisfaction. But if we consider Bhagavad Gita as our guide, and if we are of the firm belief that I am not body, I am the soul, I am the Atma, what has gone out of this world is the body, not the soul.
Right.
So we should we perform some rituals for our body, which is temporary thing. Our soul has occupied another body. The soul may be very happy occupying another body, fresh body, maybe enjoying there with the new body. So why are we worried about the body which has gone?
Exactly.
So this is
Exactly.
the thought that comes to mind, but our forefathers have taught us to perform Shraddha of the departed souls. So we do it for 3 years faithfully, and that day onwards, we can donate some amount to the needy people and consider
Sure.
that we have performed our Shraddha of the departed souls. Helping the needy or giving some donation to Vruddhashramas, where the people are without any support in their life, or giving some donation to Anadashram, orphanage, is also a kind of performing Shraddha. We remember our forefathers and donate something to them for that good cause. That will also make their souls happy. This is what we should consider.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I do, Bhaiya. So I thank you very much for your explanation. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Jai Shri. Jai Shri.
Mukulji. Mukulji, unmute yourself. Yes.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Sir, I want to get explanation that is it possible and necessary to do meditation on the skin, deer skin, which cannot be made available these days and naturally killed?
No. It is not necessary to follow the deer skin and all that thing. It is a matter which is discussed and explained by Paramatma 5,500 years back. We Sanatan people, the Hindu Dharma people, we keep changing with the time. So we don't look for a deer skin in today's time. Okay. The point here is the place should be pious, Shuddha.
Yeah.
And the seed that we create, it should not be too bad. It should give us good comfort for our body, and it should be pious. So
Yes.
the deer skin is not a must. Without deer skin also you can enter into meditation. While sitting on the chair also you can do meditation. There are many people who cannot sit down on the floor. So does it mean they cannot do meditation? No, they also can do it. Meditation is a process of mind, less of body. You should have body control. That is understood. Yes, body should be under your control. Your senses should be under control. But it is manonigraha. That is
Making the mind thoughtless.
Making the mind thoughtless.
Yes.
Repose. I don't know whether I have said in today's Vivichan. Repose, making the mind thoughtless, is something which we experience when we go through body massage. You know, at the end of 1 hour body massage, our mind is totally in trance. Thoughts do not come to our mind. We are so relaxed mentally. So
Yes.
that is the repose. Mind is not having any demands, no requirements, everything. So that is the repose of mind we should have. Repose of mind is important for any kind of meditation. And that comes, and the ultimate objective of meditation is nirvikalpa samadhi. We discussed many slokas about sankalpa. Our objective is to attain nirvikalpa samadhi, wherein there are no thoughts, no desires, no wishes, no demands, no ichha. So nirvikalpa samadhi attaining is the topmost ladder which we want to attain through meditation.
I practice.
Yeah.
But by the way, what was the significance of deer skin at that time?
A bad conductor of electricity, bad conductor of
Only deer
energy.
skin.
So as we discussed, the energy that gets generated through meditation should not get passed on to the earth. It should remain in us. The energy we should retain that energy in our body. That is the purpose of meditation, to make body stronger, to make the mind stronger. If we do meditation and entire energy collected by us gets passed on to the earth, then we are not doing anything. We have not got much. Isn't it?
We can have cushion of the cloth. Yes.
That is also enough. That's why it is 3 layers: grass, thin cloth, and deer skin. All 3 were mentioned. Yeah, deer skin is not a must in today's time. To expect that we should sit on deer skin is not correct, actually, honestly. Otherwise, you will not see any in the jungles. If the deer skin demand goes on, people will start looking for deer skin, then the pokers will go to the forest and they will start killing all the deers, which we don't want, honestly. So deer skin, that's why I mentioned specifically that deer should have died natural death. It should not be killed. The skin that is to be taken out from deer, that deer should have died a natural death, not by poaching. Okay, any other questions? Dhanyawad.
Bhushan ji. Unmute. Bhushan ji, unmute yourself. Bhushan Pradhan ji. Unmute yourself.
Krishna,
Just good now.
I want to know in the 8th sloka that Jnana and Vijnana. Jnana, Vijnana, Tatma. What is the
Tatma.
difference Jnana and Vijnana here?
See, Jnana, in short, Jnana is about our Atma Jnana. Jnana about our soul, Jnana about Paramatma is Jnana. That is our main objective of going on the path of spirituality, to attain Atma Jnana or Paramatma Jnana. But while doing Karma Yoga, we need to be active in the world also. So to keep knowledge about world is Vijnana. So knowledge about outside is Vijnana, knowledge about self is Jnana.
Jnana means this is Atma Jnana. What is
Atma
the
Dhyana or Paramatma. Yeah, Atma Dhyana and Paramatma Dhyana is the same, because Atma is Paramatma's fragment only. So Atma Dhyana is Dhyan, and the knowledge of the outside world is Vijnana.
this is
But we should
Ahurta Jnana.
remember- Huh? Yeah.
This is Ahurta Jnana.
Ah.
And Vijnana is Anubhuta Jnana. That means the world of science.
World of science or the world of Srishti, universe. But we should have equal respect for universe also. Because universe is also created by Paramatma only, no? If we hate universe, that samsara bahut kharab cheez hai, then it's not correct. It is Paramatma's creation. So we should have respect for Paramatma's creation as well as the creator, Paramatma also. This is the knowledge, Jnana and Vijnana. Okay.
Darshan ji.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
See, I daily practice some yogasanas and pranayam in the mornings.
Yeah.
But I have been thinking that I could probably do meditation along with, say, Anulom Vilom and so on.
Yeah.
And the thought just occurred to me right now that maybe take us through the steps of meditation once in a while. I mean, no, one can't expect every day you will teach meditation, but say once in a blue moon, you could give us lessons in how to go about meditating. Would you agree with me?
No, meditation is a process which you have to regularly and very regularly follow that. Doing meditation for one day does not help you.
What I'm saying is that you teach us once in a while, but I will do that meditation daily.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You want that we should teach meditation?
Yeah, once in a while.
Okay. Let me discuss within Gita Pariwar if we can have a session on teaching meditation technique itself. It's a good suggestion, very good suggestion. I will definitely take it up and we can demonstrate in one session. But in that session, most of the time will be a quiet time, because meditation is a process wherein we sit quiet, you don't speak.
Yes, of course.
But only for initial steps can be explained. That sit like this, focus your mind on this, bring this thought to your mind, wherever your mind is going. Are you doing this? Is your mind stable? Is your mind running away from focused point? All those questions can be asked, and then we can probably advise you in line with the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, how to bring back mind from different places where it is running away. We are sitting in a place for meditation and the mind goes and sits in a theater or it sits in a mall. We have to bring it back from there. So how to bring it back? And for how long we have to do this practice? So it's a good suggestion that we can probably demonstrate in one of the sessions how to do meditation.
Yes. And the
Yeah.
people who send the messages about the classes, they should definitely include that as a point.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let
That
me take it up. We can do that meditation.
So that I will make sure that I don't ever miss that.
I fully appreciate your interest in meditation. Let me take it up and we'll see how effectively we can implement this.
Very kind of you.
Yeah, Jai Shri Krishna.
Thanks a lot, Paya, for explaining the doubts of each one of the participants. Last but not the least, a sincere thanks to Tech Backend team for remaining at the back end of the session in making this event a grand success. Now it's time for the prayer. I will call upon Sunanda Nirakarji from Pune. Profession include teaching in commerce and Sanskrit. Hobbies include reading Sanskrit shlokas, texts and religious books, serving as L1 trainer, and joined Geeta Pariwar since 2021. Welcome, Didi.
Didi, shall I say Prarthana?
Ji.
Yogesham Satchidanandam Vasudevam Vrajapriyam Dharma Samstapakam Veeram Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Shri Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Jai Shri.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Thanks, Krishna. Thank you for the melodious prayer, Didi. Now I'll move to the Hanuman Chalisa. Being on mute, please everyone recite Hanuman Chalisa.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि बरन रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा गानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबेको आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबेको रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीनी बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही समबाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होतन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरई हनुमत बल बीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर गोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय.
Thanks to everyone for attending this session. Knowledge gained here will be used all over your life. Now we'll meet next week. Till then, learn Geeta, teach Geeta, and live Geeta in your life. Jai Shri Krishna.